So Frank, welcome onto the podcast, man. I'm glad to have you here. Why don't you just give people a little bit of background about how we know each other?
Yeah, man. Thank you for having me on. Appreciate it. I guess we know each other through high school from hockey. Know you were a goalie,
Whoa, whoa,
backup
whoa,
goalie. I
backup
don't know,
goalie.
backup goalie, the recipe receiver, if you will. But yeah, pretty much just from hockey, and then after that, I don't really know how we kind of like just became friends. I guess from like open hockey.
We've just like stayed friends somehow from high school and into college, even though like you're old enough to be my dad.
True, true. But like I feel like we weren't even really like that tight like in high school
Yeah, like I
until
don't know,
like really like my senior year.
I don't know what I don't know what like made us like actual friends, besides from like hockey teammates and locker room. Because think about
Yeah,
it, like you were a senior when I was a sophomore.
yeah, exactly.
I don't
And
know.
I didn't really like fuck with anybody in your grade that much.
Right. Like I
I mean,
was,
other than probably because of Juna, because like I
oh
was
yeah.
friends with Shiv and you're friends with Juna, so we kind of just like I guess we go to open hockey and shit and go to Shivs or whatever.
Yeah, I think definitely being a goalie helped because like you guys were just obligated to take me. You were like, well, we would rather shoot on somebody than nothing. I mean, this guy's close to nothing, but at least he's something.
Yeah, it's like like baby step above like Hector the Deflector.
Well, Frank, I appreciate that little intro, giving everybody just a little bit of background. So kind of what we're going to be talking about here today is I do know you have a full-time job, right?
Yes, sir.
And what is that job?
I am a mechanical engineer for an industrial wiring company.
Okay, okay. So thrilling, exciting. Um, so
Yeah, big time stuff. Big time stuff.
and how long have you been out of college?
I graduated May of 2019, so just about 2 years.
Okay. So, all right. So you've kind of just been like you're adjusting or maybe have adjusted to post-college life already. I know it's like crazy with what the world's going on, but would you say you've adjusted to post-college life or you're still kind of adjusting?
I'd say I'm probably like 85, 90% of the way there. You know, I finally face facts that I have to actually go to bed early. You know, for a long time, I just was fighting it. And now it's kind of like going to bed at 11 o'clock, which really sucks.
Right. And not drinking an 18 pack to yourself.
Yes. I mean, COVID has helped with that. Like, but yeah, the drinking was definitely at first when I first started working, drinking like every weekend was pretty brutal.
Just like, oh man, I have 2 days to recover if I do it on Friday.
Yeah, exactly. And then I would do that, and then I would do it again on Saturday, and then cut.
I think we're good now. Okay. All right. This,
I,
this is a great segue into our actual question. So I know that you say you work this full-time job, right? And you're saying that you're like 85% of the way adjusted to being out of college. How long did it take for you to nail this job? Just be like, I like from college to first day of working.
well, I actually got pretty lucky, and I did two internships at this job during the summer after my sophomore year and the summer after my junior year.
Okay.
And then at the end of it, before I went back for my senior year, my boss was kind of like, hey, like if you want to come back after you graduate, like you can take your position back,
He
and
was
just kind of
basically
like,
offering you a job.
yeah, was like putting it on the table. And I was like, all right, thank you. Like I'll consider it. And then I pretty much didn't really want to go back for, some reasons. And so,
Okay.
yeah, I mean, I guess we'll get into that. But yeah, so I graduated in May, and then I spent pretty much from May until like October. So like 5 months I was like job searching. And I think I applied to like 60 to 70 jobs
What?
within
60 to
like
70 jobs?
Yeah, which is pretty tough as like an engineer because it's like there's not a lot of entry level positions.
Yeah.
Whereas
You want
for
experience?
yeah, it's like always like entry level, but then they want 3 to 5 years experience, or they want you to like know how to use this program or that program, and it's like
Right.
so that made it. I had like a couple of interviews, but they always just wanted you to have something more than
Which
like
I
what I
feel like
had.
is a huge issue in the job hunt nowadays, because I feel like all these companies are like, we want you to have experience, but then you're like, this is I'm trying to get this experience.
Yeah, it's always it's like literally like a never ending circle. It's like you need to get experience, you need a job, but to get the job, you need experience. And it's like literally just goes around like, so it's just the fact that
Right.
they
And then you
expect
end
you
up
to have,
working some like job you don't want to work because you couldn't get the job that you were trying to work to get the experience.
yeah, exactly. So that's pretty much what I'm doing. Not to say that I don't like my job, but I kind of just, um, I was in, yeah, it's just still in the middle of searching and, talking to my friends and talking to like my girlfriend's dad helped me out and got me in touch with some people he knows. And I still like couldn't get anything other than I got like I said, a couple interviews, and then my boss from my old job happened to hit me up and she was like, "Hey, I heard that you're still like job searching. Would you want to come back?" And at the time I was like, maybe because I kind of had some other like opportunities that might work
Right.
out at that time. And so I was kind of thinking about it. I was like, hey, I'm talking to these other people. Can I get back to you? And she was like, yeah, sure, whatever. And my
Oh, that's
dad,
awesome.
yeah, no, it was super chill. And then my dad was pretty pissed that I like didn't accept the offer right away, which is like expected, but like,
Right.
after I was searching for so long. And then yeah, so the other job didn't really work out. And then so I went back to my old job. And so I've just been doing that since November of 2019.
Okay, so the process though to get to land that first gig, even though you worked and like did internships for them, took about 5 to 6 months, kind of just trial and error, applying here, not getting that, trying this, right?
Yeah. I mean, because I got lucky and so I had the chance to go back right away, but I chose not to
So you had a
because
safety net in a way.
yeah, exactly. I
So
kind of was pursuing other things to see if I could find something else.
so my question would be to that is, if you didn't have that safety net, how like after 5 or 6 months, and like I could imagine there was some feelings of anxiety and maybe just like, oh no, like what am I going to do after the 5 or 6 months are ready? But if you didn't have that safety net, what do you think you would have been feeling?
Yeah, I mean, that's actually when I started working at IHOP around in October because I was maybe it was like no, it was like September. It was actually like a week after my birthday. Yeah, it was early September. And because I was literally just sitting on my ass for like 4 months at that point, and I was like, you know what, I should do something. All I was doing was job searching and going to the gym. So I was like, and that's when you came home and you were like kind of working at IHOP, kind of not, and I kind of just got the gig because it
Yeah,
was like,
I was like, yo, Frank, this Pancake House place is legit.
yeah. So then that's kind of where the whole reason I even started doing IHOP was because I just didn't really find a job as fast as I thought I was gonna. Because while I was in school, everybody was like, "Oh, you're going to be an engineer. Oh, you're gonna find jobs so fast. Oh, we need those. We need those." And then I get out, and it's like there's nothing.
That's crazy
So
because I have that. Like, I mean, obviously, we kind of know the direction I'm going with my career path, right? Like, it's not the normal, but it's what we're doing. But like, I even have this preconceived notion that like you're an engineer, like, and engineers get jobs, you know?
yeah, like it seems like, or like like a doctor or like a lawyer seems like one of those careers that's just kind of like, oh, we always need those. We always need those, or like computer science or whatever. And so that's kind of how I expected it to be because I knew a lot of people that um from my school that did internships or co-ops at other companies while they were in school, and then did the same thing. They just got that job right after school, were able to find something after school. And I think actually one of the things that kind of fucked myself over was I didn't really take the job fairs that seriously. I didn't really. A lot of them were during the lacrosse season, so I either like didn't
Never went to
go,
a single
or like
one
I
of
had
them.
practice afterwards.
I,
No, no, I did. I
I,
did.
I
I
did
was physically there.
it.
You did. Yeah, but I mean, anybody that I talk to that's still in school, I always tell them like this one kid that my dad like works with his mom that I've been talking to who goes to school at Tufts right now as an engineer. That's what I told him. I was like, go to the job fairs and like take that shit seriously because that's how you get your internships and get your co-ops, and that's like the real experience that you want. That they want you to have in order to either go back to that place like I did or go to somewhere else. So
Dude,
definitely
hearing
something that I should have done.
hearing all this stuff that like you've gone through just to nail this one job, like, bro, I feel like I'm just such the outlier with my actual current job. Like,
Oh, your case tracing thing?
yeah, my DOH job.
Definitely.
Like,
Like you just kind of were like, hey, I want to do this.
right, bro. The literal process of me securing this Department of Health job was like, huh, this email doesn't look sketchy. And I clicked on it and I was just like, oh, job for the quarantine? Okay. And I applied
You're
and
just
then
like,
they were like, yes. And I was like, okay.
I guess that's it then.
And I was like, where do I have to go? They go, oh no, you work from your house. I go, what? And then they go, we'll pay you X amount of dollars. And I go, huh? Like, it's crazy to think that like we're put through this machine of like college, right? For 4 years, and you're kind of like drilled into your head like job. When in actuality, it's like it just doesn't happen like that. And especially we're going to be going into this world post COVID that who knows what like the job market's going to look like.
Yeah. I mean, I honestly was like, in retrospect, was so like lucky that I was able to, have these internships, have that safety net, like you said, and was able to secure the job before COVID. Cause it's like, you know, I don't even can't imagine what it's like trying to find a job right now in any field.
Yeah, yeah, in any field. And with that, like I want to hear what you have to say. Like, I know we all kind of like were in college, we're like, this is a 4 year vacation, like this is the best time of our lives. But then like things need to get serious and buckle down. So what has your first year of working been like? Or first, I mean, you might be, I think you're going on 2 years now. Like, what's the first 2 years been like? Like the goods, the bads, and like what what is not what you expected to be, if at all.
I think my experience is a little different just because I worked I already worked there previously, so I kind of knew what I was getting myself into
Mm,
when I went back. And I mean, it's pretty I think it really just depends on where you work specifically more than anything because every company is different, depending on who's in charge or whatever. I mean, even like when we worked at IHOP, I remember talking to people that like Josh or whoever used to work at Applebee's, and they were like, "Oh, Applebee's like sucks, bro. That place is terrible." And I'm like, "How can it like it's you're just serving? How is it bad?"
right.
Because IHOP was so great. Like we had so much fun. So it's like
IHOP was literally like the equivalent of a McDonald's ball pit. Like it
literally
was
the
literally,
McDonald's play place.
yeah, literally. It's just like, oh, your shift was at 9, show up at 9:47. And then when you get there, we'll give you the biggest section with the most money, and you can also eat all the product.
Yeah, and you can just hang out in the back and do whatever you want, like half the time.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean that's like why I stayed at IHOP even after I like started working full time. I still worked at IHOP because it was like, the money was easy and I actually enjoyed working there. Like everybody was cool, our managers were cool, all the other servers were cool. It's like,
Right.
except for that one.
Freaking Janet.
Yeah. But I guess yeah, to really answer your question, I think yeah, it does depend on where you work and how that place is structured. But for me specifically, um, my job is I guess probably easier than I thought it would be, just because of the nature of how my specific company works. Because I kind of work, because I said, we make wires and we make like these like cable assemblies. It's like really hard to explain, but basically, like, picture like a submarine or an airplane or like a NASA spaceship has like
I'm picturing a
wires that have to
spaceship.
connect things. What?
I'm picturing a spaceship. Okay.
Yeah, exactly. Everybody knows what those spaceships look like. So
Big Elon
yeah,
Musk.
so I do that kind of engineering with those wires and stuff. And so the way that it works is my work is kind of tied to um the production of that stuff. And so as long as I work faster than like the production is on those wires, like if I do my work faster than as fast as that, like the rate of production of my company, basically. And so I'm able to, not have to work super hard all the time because my work just, I mean, it's gotten more as after my internship, now
It
that I
depends
work,
on
I've
the
had
other
more
parts.
responsibilities.
Basically, what you're saying is like your amount of work depends on the parts of the other amount of work. But if you get your shit done, you can take it easy a little bit.
Yeah. But yeah, because we can only our production floor, like the people that make the wires, can only make them so fast. And so that's kind of like, yeah, everybody's kind of tied around that, like the actual production. And so, yeah, yeah, basically that's pretty much it. And so because of that, I just kind of got lucky where I don't have to do, I mean, now I'm doing more because I'm like working full time and stuff.
Right.
But I mean, that's just, kind of how it is. Once you start working, you just get more and more responsibilities. And so, I
So
mean,
hold
it
on
just kind of goes from there.
to pivot off that real quick. What's like specifically one thing in your job, like specific? And it could just be like the workforce itself. It doesn't have to specifically be with the company that like you just didn't expect to be part of like working or like how you feel. Like, do you feel like you're just in this rut every like all week, and then like the weekend is kind of like a release, for example? Is there something that like in the workforce that you're just like, damn, like I didn't expect this?
Well, one thing actually that I kind of had to come to terms with back, I think it was during my second internship. I remember having this like sudden realization and stuff like the Army and the Navy and shit. And so I kind of had to come to terms with the fact that one day, I don't know if this is really what you're asking, but I remember thinking this, and me and my buddies talk about this,
Yeah.
how we kind of contribute to like the whole military industrial complex type thing,
Oh,
where we're
really?
like, yeah, our wires go into like UAVs and predator drones and then like
What?
bombers and shit. Yeah, man, like everything. So like I'm kind of, have a hand in that like militarization kind of
That's pretty
thing.
crazy. You're telling me when I get a 3 kill streak in COD, you're the guy making my UAV?
Dude, without me, it wouldn't even be up there, man. The chopper gunner, like I'm in there.
I see like a dangling red wire. I'm like, dude, did Frank mess this thing up?
Bro, I think about that shit. It's like, dude, there was this one rocket that this company ULA, the United Launch Alliance, they work with NASA, and they were literally like to finish the rocket, they were waiting on us to like build this wire so that it could like connect the door to the rocket and so that the rocket could fly. Like that's how
Yo,
like real this shit is, bro.
what?
Yeah. It's pretty crazy. So like, yeah, so it's just kind of something that when you're in that government contracting industry, you kind of have to, come to terms with the fact that you're contributing to that. sort of, it's just the industry that you're in, I guess, which not everybody's okay with. Some people don't want to do that. And I personally don't really want to do it anymore. So I'm trying to like get
Right.
out of it and move towards like, you know, either renewable energies or maybe like
That'd be cool.
medical equipment or something that's like, actually helping people rather than like making wires that go in like
Like
predator drones. Like I don't
flying,
want to do that.
flying death weapons from space.
Yeah, exactly. Like
Bro,
crazy anti-air shit.
it's kind of crazy when you think about it, and like this has nothing to do with what we're talking about, but like it's kind of crazy to think about how just like out of nowhere one of those things can just like literally delete people.
Yeah, man. It's like fucking atom bombs and hydrogen bombs. Like we have that shit just waiting.
Just hanging out somewhere.
Nuclear launch codes. Yeah.
Like, could you imagine being that guy just like Jim? Like Jim's the guy like locking the door every night to the nuclear facility. Like what if Jim what if Jim leaves his key card there?
What if Jim gets the common cold? Then who's there?
Yeah, who's like imagine we need that and the guy is sick. Like, do we have
Yeah.
a
Like
backup
where is
guy?
it? Where's Jim too?
So, Frank, that's super interesting, man. That like you're even trying to get out of the specific field, like not the field, but the kind of genre that you're in. And I know that you told me that during the pandemic you were allowed to work from home, and I know that the other day we were talking that maybe you were doing like 1 or 2 days home, the rest in the office. Um, what do you think? Do you think we're gonna be going to a work from home kind of society, or you think we're gonna go back to the office?
Um, I think that now that we have done work from home and employees and their higher ups at any company can see how productive it still can be when you're working from home. I think that there's going to be a lot more working from home. I know that companies like Facebook and Twitter and Salesforce and Google have said that after the pandemic, they're going to let people choose to work like 50-50 or 70-30 if they
Those
want
companies
to.
are fantastic. We need every
What?
company. Those companies, fantastic. We need every company to be like, you can stay home.
Yeah. But I think it also comes with like, not every job you can do from home because like my job, you need like, some engineering you can do from home, but like, sometimes it's like just like today, there's like, these wires are failing electrically and we have to figure out why. And it's like, I can't do that shit from my desk at home. I have to go in and open them up and look inside and like look at
Right.
the machines and figure out the problems and stuff. So
Some jobs
I
are
think
more
that,
hands-on than others.
yeah, absolutely. I think like, sales teams and marketing teams where anything that's predominantly already on the computer or where you're just talking to people and having meetings, like all that shit can just be work from home.
Yeah.
But anything that's hands on, I think, like car manufacturers or like NASA, like those guys, they have to, the guys building the rocket ships, they got to do that,
We gotta get
They
in
can't
there.
do that shit from home, obviously.
It's like
So,
imagine just like building the spaceship from home. It's like, no, Lance, you need to tilt it that way, put it on the head. It's like I can't see. You need to move your camera. It would just be a nightmare.
dude, I did that. There was one point
Really?
last year when I had to quarantine when my parents or my mom and my sister had COVID and I was stuck at home for like I think it was 3 weeks because Carlotta had it, and then I literally went back to work for one day, and then my sister had it,
Oh,
and exactly what happened today. There was certain problems with wires, and my friends that were there, I had to go on FaceTime with them and like talk about it and figure it out. Like, what are we gonna do? What's like, what's the plan? How are we gonna fix this? So it's tough. I mean, it definitely can be done. I think there's a lot of potential. People are seeing that, you know, it saves everybody time. It's way less stressful not having to commute
saves a
and
ton of
stuff
money
like
too.
that.
Like
Yeah,
like
you
these
know,
these companies will like, and this is a little pivot on that, dude. Like some companies are getting crushed by this work from home. Like, think about it. Think about if you owned commercial real estate right now,
Yeah.
dude. I'd want
It's
to
like,
offload that so quick.
yeah, man, I know a lot of companies are like selling their office buildings and having more people work from home so that they can have some, like you said, instead of having 1,000 people in an office, have like 200, or
Yeah,
have like, some people stay home these days, some people stay home these days, and
yeah,
everybody's kind of sharing the space,
kind of like a
you
hybrid
know.
kind of situation.
Yeah. And so they can save money that way. And then like the workers, I'm saving money by not having to like pack lunch or buy gas, and like,
Right,
less stressful by, getting more sleep, not having to go anywhere. And it's like, I
right.
think there's definitely,
Like my favorite part, dude, about working from home is literally the fact I don't have a commute.
yeah,
Like
that was definitely
my
my
commute
favorite part too.
is from my bed to my desk, and sometimes I don't even make it there. I clock in sometimes from the pillowcase. Like, head
Dude,
still on the cold side, sipping a cup of Joe. I'm like, nope, yep, I'm ready to go, guys.
yeah, I'm in there. Yeah, no, I used to do the same thing. It's like all I had to do was walk downstairs to start working. Or yeah, sometimes I would bring my laptop up to my room and just literally like wake up and just grab it and put it right on my bed and just like start working, like not even move. And it's like, I think it depends on like the person, whether that's like more or less productive. Cause I know there's some people like Carlotta, for example, she is like one of those people that can't just sit in her room and do work. It's like she needs to like go to the library or go somewhere else where other people are doing work in order to like feel that type of productivity.
Never understood that. I
Yeah,
never,
I
I don't
I
get it.
don't
I
understand
don't
that
get
either.
it. I could sit in my room and do every single piece of work, and I just go, okay, like I'm in my room. What distractions are there? Like,
Yeah.
like I feel like if I go to the library, I'm gonna be 6 times more distracted because
Yeah.
there's gonna be so many more moving pieces going on. I mean, the cheetah's distracting enough, but like there's when I'm in a cafe or a library, you don't know who's gonna walk up to you, who's gonna say hi, start a conversation. You might be in the zone,
Hmm.
and it's crazy to think that like you're saying, Carlotta, there's certain people who physically cannot do work at their house or in their room. They need to go to a whole separate location,
Yeah.
which is nuts.
Yeah, that's crazy to me. Cause like I remember when I used to go to the library, because I lived in like, crazy, all my friends at school were like pretty crazy. So doing work at home was pretty tough, or in my dorm or whatever. So I would go to the library and I would literally go like all the way to the top floor in the corner in like this little enclosed thing, just so I was like away from everybody. And that's when I was like the most productive.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's definitely a different situation when obviously like my housing situation. I don't know if you were in the dorms at that point, but the dorms are a whole nother story. Like that's distraction every 7 seconds. But like,
I actually never lived in the dorms. I was in suites. So
really,
I was pretty, yeah. My like freshman, sophomore year, I did actually do a pretty good amount of work in my room just because my buddy, yeah, Brandon. I live with Brandon, and he, um, he didn't really have a lot of work, so he would always just chill in like our living room and shit. So I was able to
right?
like get my work done. But if it was like really, I really needed to grind out some homework or whatever, I would just go to the library.
Oh,
So
dude, you didn't miss anything about the dorms. Literally here. I'll sum it up for you in literally 7 seconds. Um, Ghastly overpriced. Um, no privacy. Um,
yeah.
the flu. Like, like like seriously, bro. One person gets the flu in the dorms. The entire building has the flu. Okay.
Yeah, it starts with one floor and then the next
Yeah.
floor,
You're
and
just
it's
like,
just
oh my
like,
god. It's just like, did you guys hear about Tamitha on the third floor? Everybody's dead. They're all dying. I'm just like, great, great. I have 4 days until I'm sick.
yeah, I know, I know. Some of my buddies, my freshman year, they lived in the dorms, and we would go chill there, and it's like, it is fun though because it's like more of like a community kind of thing where it's like
Right.
you can see anybody anytime kind of
It's like a
thing. Whereas the
child
suite,
apartment
like,
building.
Yeah, exactly. It was like very small apartments that were all right next to each other, and it was like, so it was pretty fun for that. That's one thing that I kind of miss because I feel like a lot of people like made friends that way by being in the same dorms like freshman, sophomore year. But
It's definitely
yeah,
it's definitely adds a different aspect to college. I just think, in my personal opinion, being from somebody who's lived in the dorms, who lives off campus and stuff like that, the reward doesn't outweigh. I don't want to say the risk because you're not really risking anything, but, but like
I mean, you are risking your mental health. Like,
you are, yes, you are, especially if you go to somewhere like a state school where like the dorms haven't been renovated since 1963. Like, like I swear, dude, I feel like the last time they renovated was like the Cold War.
dude, I remember at Oswego some of that. I was like, I remember pulling up the first time. I was like, bro, is this Chernobyl? Like, what
Dude,
is this?
bro, in the literally in the winter months, we all say it's Chernobyl. It's like we're literally in Chernobyl, just like minus the radiation.
Yeah, there's like huge like smokestacks or some shit, and everything is like gray and brown and like dark, and there's like no
Gray
signs, and you're just
blocks.
like, is there anybody here? Like, it's just deserted.
That's too funny. Oh, well, Frank, man, I appreciate you coming on here and us just going back and forth because I know, I mean, I'm graduating soon, and that means a ton of other people are graduating, and that means everybody's got to put on their big boy pants and get jobs, and it's interesting to
Yep.
hear like how the job market actually is, and from what we talked about is you kind of had a leg up on everybody, just because you had that safety net, but what I've gotten the vibe from you basically is like if you didn't have that safety net, like it's a real like you had to go to IHOP basically because you were like, I need to start working, and
Mhm.
I think for a lot of people who are graduating, and especially because the pandemic is hopefully coming to an end soon. I don't know, the Johnson & Johnson vaccine's scaring me a little bit, but the
Yeah.
it's coming, it should be coming to an end relatively soon, and people are going
Yeah.
to go out to get jobs, uh, and they might not know what to do. So I feel like this could definitely be helpful for some people, kind of just prepping themselves for, hey, once you get out of school, like even as an engineer, as one of those high quality jobs that we're all taught is going to just get that job. That's not really the case,
Yeah.
you know?
I mean, I think that, like I said, there's more things that I could have done to like give myself more of a leg up with like finding a job. But I think that there's, some people should um put themselves out there more and just like I told the kid that I've been talking to just like look up companies you want to work for and find like their hiring manager or their HR person and literally just send them an email and be like, hey, are you hiring right now? Because it
Right.
literally can't hurt. It's
Right.
like because not every job is posted on LinkedIn or whatever.
No. And what's the worst that happens? You don't get a response. Then
Yeah,
you're stuck in the same situation you were just in.
exactly.
Like,
That's what I told them. Like, it can't hurt. Like, there's literally nothing that can go wrong. And then if they say, hey, we're not hiring right now, but you're pretty qualified, and I'll keep you in mind for the future or whatever.
yeah. And then you
And
send them another email 3, 6 months later, and then
yeah,
either they'll be like, sorry, we're still not hiring, or they'll be like, hey, I remember you, like we do have a position, or they'll be like, stop or we're calling the police. But that one only happens usually after the fourth or fifth email, that I
yeah,
so, but hey man, I really appreciate you doing this. It's been a ton of fun. I always just love shooting the shit with you.
yeah. Of course, man. No problem. Thanks for having me on.
Absolutely, dog. All right, I'll talk to you later.
All right, peace out, man.